What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, your Don, motherfucking Israel, aka Liddy Fontaine. Pretty Liddy is what they call me. And this is another episode of Lit, the premier platform for all things literary, swaggy, and otherwise. Today's guest, we have the wonderful, super duper, lovely couple of Hoodrat Feminists. We got Taz, we got Dante. They in the building. Giving them a round of applause. We got y'all can clap for yourselves too. But we got the sound effects that's gonna make it look good. So they pulled up today. One of the main bases of this show is you got to show us what you pulling up with, swag wise. So you gotta stand up. You gotta walk us through the outfit. I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna get the outfit from this angle, and we're gonna see. So yeah, walk us through the outfit. Hold on 1 second. So Taz, what you rocking? I see walk me through the fit.
Air Max 24/7s that I had since the 8th grade.
All right, boom.
Some orange camo pants.
Right.
I got this bodysuit from like a strip club dance wear store.
Okay.
They gave it to me. And then I got this from like Rainbow Pretty Girl, one of them little stores.
All right.
And
All
then,
right. And then the accessories. What we got? We got the Flojo nails flying.
I got my nails.
Yeah.
They just popping.
Okay.
And then I got like all my gold jewelry and my nameplate.
Okay. And my man Dante, what you got? You got the classic Reeboks on. What you doing?
I'm basic with it. I bust all my shoes, so Reebok classics.
Yeah.
They get me through hard times.
With the black tube socks.
You know, always got to keep the black tubes.
Okay.
I got some regular gray sweat shorts. You know what I'm saying? Probably from Target or something. Target classic.
The thought uniform.
I got H&M little polo. I keep it simple.
All
That's
right.
my father's chain I stole a long time ago.
Okay. Does your father know you have it?
Of course. He's trying to get it back. Can't get it back.
Patagonia.
On the hat.
And then the watch, what's the timepiece?
Probably from Kmart. Some
stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank y'all.
I'm always been basic with it.
Super swag. We had to give a new angle. I wanted to get like behind the scenes, behind the table type shit. But for people who don't know, Hoodrat Feminist is a Instagram page, correct? Mm-hmm. Where, you know what, y'all talk to me about Hoodrat Feminist. What is it? How'd y'all start it?
It's an Instagram page that I turned into an LLC, so we are a company. It started in a womanist black feminist theater class.
Yeah. And
we had to make a page for us to like go to performances and do vlogs. And I was like, I'm not doing that on my regular Instagram. Like, that's weird. So then I was like, yo, I'm going to make a page. I'm going to call it Hoodrat Feminist. So everybody was like, oh, that's cute. I was like, for real? They was like, yeah. So I started making all these videos. And then people started commenting and like, oh, you should keep doing this. I was like, word? Yeah. And then they started getting followers. So I was like, what is this? I had to figure it out. So I was like, I took this other feminism class at the new school. And I just wasn't fucking with it. Like, they was like, I'm tired of the male gaze. Like, how come every time women take a picture, they can't look directly in the camera? It was just mad little stuff that I didn't really pay attention to.
Yeah, you ain't got to talk in the mic. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, yeah. It was just like mad little stuff I didn't really pay attention to. So I was like, nah. But I started thinking about like how I grew up and a lot of things that I experienced like growing up in the hood. I'm from East Orange, New Jersey.
Yeah, in D.C., DMV area.
Yeah. D.C. Maryland, DMV area, we say D.C. just because if you say Maryland, people always say Baltimore. And it's just it's not the same. It's a whole different type of culture.
Yeah.
So
that's all good.
Yeah, basically like it's the same but technically it's Maryland. It's New Carrollton, Maryland, PG County. Okay. It's like 5 minutes from DC. It's right up the street and everything like that.
So we got the background. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Keep talking
so I take the bus. I commuted to the new school because shit is expensive. So I was taking the bus every day, and I started looking at my neighborhood from, like, the outside looking in because I'm getting all this new shit in college. I'm learning all this stuff about, like, equity, diversity, and inclusion. It's, like, all this stuff that I never really thought about till I got to school. So I started trying to apply it to my neighborhood, and a lot of, like, dangerous, traumatic things happened to me as a teenager, living in the hood, like, just being around. So I was like, yo, let me talk about that on this page.
Right.
And then it just...
So what's your working, and both of y'all, your working understanding of what Hoodrat Feminist is? Like where it is now?
I mean, I could say like, cause say for example, right, when she first started doing it, I don't even think we were cool, but we weren't together at the time. And it's funny because like but we spoke like every day.
Right.
You know, all the time. We never really, even if we had a situation, it wasn't like we had a situation.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like I remember seeing her doing it, and I was like, yo, this is dope. You know, or what are you gonna do more with it?
Yeah.
And I think that at the time, like we really had a lot of discussions about like how much more could be done with it in regard to like, you know, not trying to like sell it as like a business in particular, but just like really making it in a way that it could be perceived as like a structure, like a whole business mold, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as the way that you post it and the things that you post and like having some consistency there. So when I look at the way that it's grown and where Hoodrat Feminist is now, like it's kind of like it seems to me like a hub for this community of like, I hate the word othered, but I almost want to say like othered girls, you know, people who we don't really look at as being like, we assume that they right there probably in the hood and it's just they're ignored like every day. They work in, you know, down the street, or they work at the Rainbow that she got her netted hoodie from, whatever the case may be. But like, you know, she hates the idea of saying like giving a voice to the voiceless because she only represents herself. But in representing herself, it does in turn kind of give a voice to the people who don't really have one. Yeah. And that's why people ride for her so hard.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And she, I mean, you can see it through the thing. She does a Woman Crush Wednesday every Wednesday, and it's not like Bernice Burgos and all these other people who's on.
Yeah, I don't. And
it's regular people. It's regular people who she actually really admires their grind and they hustle.
Yeah. And to me, it's also like, it's just a space for me to have conversations and to be able to talk to everybody. That's why Instagram, because I'm a theater person. Like,
right.
Background.
You went
I'm
to
an actress.
In high school.
I went to Cicely Tyson, and I always studied musical theater. I studied theater, and you know, you're only able to see a certain amount of people at a time. So it's not like film. It's like if you missed it, if you weren't there, you don't get to be a part of that conversation. But on Instagram, it's like it's always there. So people are constantly like, they come back like 10 weeks later, 5 weeks later, like, oh, that really touched me. The fact that you shared such a personal experience, you know, and it's just a place.
So let's go back. One needs you, because he answered it, you didn't. Mm-hmm. So you're working, like, if you could synthesize what Hoodrat Feminist to one sentence, what's the language you would give it right now? Let's answer that first, and I'm gonna hit you with the second part.
One sentence. Okay, so it's a lifestyle.
Okay.
It's a conversation space.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
A conversation space.
About anything in particular? I mean,
about how girls in the hood relate to feminism.
There you go. There you go. That's your one line right there. That's your elevator pitch. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because, you know, a lot of times when we creative people create things, we also can think about the perspective we have of knowing and creating it, not as opposed to how it's seen. So it's like, how do you give language for someone else to explain to somebody else?
That was hard to do.
Right.
That was real hard.
No, but it's like once you do that work, you never have to do it again. So once people can say that, it's like, oh, okay, boom.
And that's so funny, because like I do a lot of like nudity stuff, just because that's what I like to do. And so people are always asking my best friend, like, who is your best friend? Like, that always has her boobs out on Instagram. He's like, but did you watch any of the videos? Yeah. And they're like, nah. He's like, he gets so frustrated, like, I just want them to understand. I'm like, no, but it's not for them. But like, it's hard if I don't have the
but that's what I mean, because it's sometimes it's like, sometimes things can be for people if they knew what it was about. And if like someone comes and they never seen this before, and they just like, all right, I see titties, I don't know what this is about. Like, is it another one of those pages where she's drinking flat tummy teas? Like, and so if you don't have language to separate that, it's like, well, I guess this is like everything else I've seen. And so like language is essentially important to this. But go back to the beginning. Who was, I see you brought When Chicken Has Come to Roost. We talked about this book. We all went to the New School together, for people who don't know. But talk about this book, When Chicken Has Come to Roost, as like, what was like, and like, because language is essential to what you are providing people on the gram through this conversation space. So what was it in this book, and some other people who like first gave you language to what Hoodrat Feminist could be?
Okay, so in this class, it was called Introduction to Feminist Thought and Action.
Right.
And it was taught by this white lady at the new school. And I only took it because I had to take a ULEX.
This white lady.
This white lady. So I had to take a ULEX. So I was in this class, we were getting all these readings. And I was just bored.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this is boring. I don't like this shit. So I had to like go home and do research on my own to find like black feminist literature. And so this is the first book I came across. I typed in like black feminism. And then this was first, like this was the first thing that actually like popped out to me, because of the whole like a hip hop feminist breaks it down. I was like, oh, that's cute. So I just bought it, and then I started reading. I was like, yo, like, is she talking to me?
So pop open that book.
Yeah.
Read something from that book that jumped out at you immediately.
I knew I was coming here, so I already marked it.
Yeah.
Alright. So she was like, this is Joan Morgan. When your ass come home to us. She the homie. She be showing so much love on Instagram. She's like, oh, this is the best picture ever, whatever. So yeah, she's like, when I thought about feminism, women who were living and breathing it daily, I thought of white women or black female intellectuals, academics, historians, authors, women who had little to do with my everyday life. The sisters in my immediate proximity grew up in the hood, summered in the Hamptons, swapped spit on brightly lit Harlem corners, and gave up more than a little booty in Ivy League dorms. They were ghetto princesses with a predilection for ex-drug dealers. They got their Caesars cut at the barbershop and perms at the Dominicans uptown. They were Mac divas who rolled with posses 15 bitches deep and lived for Kappa beach parties, the garage, the Roxy, and all things hip-hop. Black feminists were some dope sisters, respected elders most deaf, but they were not my contemporaries. They were not crew. And for most of my 20s, crew was what mattered. But I was also a 24-year-old who begun writing articles on black male sexism and the conspiracy of protective silence that surrounds it. If I wasn't going to call myself a feminist, I better come up with something. Folks like to know what to call you when they're cussing you out.
Ooh, that's good.
So I was like, oh, like, this is me.
She made me read that book too, and when I went through it, at first I was just like, what's the angle here? And it's like that same page that she just read, like,
yeah.
When it hit me, I was like, culture. Like, it just hit, because, you know, it's not often that you hear people describe that type of setting in that way. So straightforward, but relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't cut, no filter, anything like that.
So this was first, but then I was like, okay, so now, like, I have to figure out what I'm going to call this. So that's kind of like what Hoodrat Feminist is, because it's me marrying the two.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I was like, all right, Melissa Harris Perry, like, I'm gonna do Anna Julia Cooper, I'm gonna do Audre Lorde, like all of these foundational texts, but this was like my guiding text.
Okay. What about you, D? What was some of your guiding texts? Even prior to coming into Hoodrat Feminism, like what was some of your prerequisite readings? What were some of the things that created the...
It's funny, a lot of the books that I like started to get into were like books I stole from my father.
Okay.
Like I stole the chance to.
What did your father do?
He worked for Sprint for like 15 years.
Okay.
He was kind of in that whole realm.
He's a Kappa.
He's also a Kappa.
Okay.
He had a stroke recently, like a few years back and everything like that. So he's partially paralyzed, but he's good.
Okay.
He's good, yeah. And it's funny because he was one of those type of people who always, you know, taught us like morals, like, you know, be better and everything. So when I was like 15, I was reading a lot of books that I wasn't necessarily understanding and processing, and had to go back and reread later on. But like, it's funny. So I was looking at like, say for example, like the autobiography of Malcolm X, right, and like Amistad, and like all these like super blackety black books. And it's funny because to some extent, I wasn't sure if that was my wave until I came across a book called Brainwashed by Tom Burrell.
Okay.
And that's probably like my favorite book to this day, just because of the way that it just broke down. It was basically about, breaking...
You know, give it some camera time. Keep talking. I just want people to see the title so they know what
it's
to grab.
It's about breaking the myth of black inferiority. And he's really a marketing specialist. He was one of the leading... advertising brand men from like the 70s through the early 90s, and he was creating like the first, like, you know, Black Cheerio commercials and things of that nature, like that, like normalized the black family on camera.
Okay.
And he was talking about how the idea of black inferiority is a myth that's been sold to us continually since the time of slavery through now, to the point that it's like ingrained, almost like the idea of Willie Lynchism and all of these different things. But as much as I like that, it's somewhat almost like a textbook. But the first book that really gave me a crazy reading experience that like was so enjoyable to me, that I had never had, like, wow, I really enjoyed this story, like watching a movie, was The Alchemist.
Okay.
And
that's author.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah, it's me. I was trying to remember.
Coelho.
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
And apparently he has I haven't got a chance to look at any of his other books yet, but I mean, I was just so engulfed.
Yeah, everybody loves that.
Because
like,
it's talking about it's just, if you believe in the law of attraction, right? And are you hip to the law of attraction?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's essentially just, you know, the idea of what you believe in your mind to be true. It comes to fruition as long as you create that energy and follow an omen. So like, I wouldn't necessarily consider myself to be like Christian or Muslim or any specific faith, but the dedication that it takes to following your heart and the omens that God brings you along the way, and trusting them, not knowing where it's going to take you, and seeing how as long as you live your truth and follow your path, it's going to bring you to where you're supposed to be. Like, it just sat with me in a way that like nothing has ever like touched.
You have
me
something
before.
to read from there?
I can try to pull something. I don't have it straight up right here.
All right, so as you look,
work on that.
You find it because I want people to. Because this is a real foundational element, is having people hear what's in these books, because sometimes they don't open them themselves. But
come back to me.
Pushing the conversation though. What I seen from the page was, and what I see on the page is, you know, a lot of times there's a lot of videos of you, like, you know, with your breast out, or, and it's not reductive, right? I'm not. It's just like so people could get the images, or you know, wearing like 80 do-rags, or you basically modeling that person, that like the homegirl in the hood, that in a lot of ways no one thinks about the interior life of, right? Like without shows like, you know, like Issa Rae's Insecure, like, and like Girlfriends, and like whatever shows like has come out with like black women are the forefront, but their lives are not just external but internal as well, right? Like you know, I'm thinking about like Set It Off. I'm thinking about like, you know, Girls Trip that just came out. Like that Bessie movie that Queen Latifah was in. But the interiority, like what I'm seeing now recently is that black women are are coming into the seat of power in such a way where they get to be the protagonists of their own stories. Whereas before, and even as a person who wrote, like I even wrote like a lot of black women in my lives as sort of periphery, like they were on the side, like I was the main person, and my mom's was over here and so was over there, but it was mainly about me. But I think that what Hoodrat Feminist does as a page is it centers on putting, like, you know, you as a person first. And how did you come into understanding yourself? How did you was that something you consciously did, or was that something that...
One time I was on a train. I was on a PATH train, and you know, like the Jersey train is a little more bougie than the MCA, so it'd be like mad white people or whatever, and they just be chilling. So one day it was this black girl coming back from the city. I don't know what she was doing. I didn't know her. She had like long box braids. They was like color braids, and she was a thicker girl, and she was standing up because she didn't have a seat. And I was sitting down. So we were like the only two black girls on the train. And she's rapping Dreams and Nightmares out loud. Like loud as fuck. Like,
hold up, wait a minute.
Like loud as fuck. She's dancing, braids are swinging. So everybody's like looking at her. They tired from their commute. They're just like... So even I'm doing it. I'm like, damn, like she's embarrassing me. I'm tight right now. Like, she's really making black girls look bad. And I had to think, like, who the fuck am I? Like, what is this? Like, why am I embarrassed? Like... She's living fully. Like, she looks poppin'. She's cute. She's doing her thing. And I'm sitting here like, damn, what are these white people thinking?
Right.
And that had been a question that was, like, always in my mind. Like, what are these white people thinking? Like, even the way I talk in class, like, I talk like this. And that was a conscious decision because I used to be like, well, and I was like, nah, like, you gonna meet me where I am. I'm gonna talk like this. Like, if I get mad, I'll be like, no, like, fuck out of here. Like, I'm not, like...
Yeah.
And so so I just decided, like, I am no longer going to live like people are watching me, like white people are watching me.
Okay.
You can't.
Or like I gotta represent all black girls.
Is that the only lens you internalize? Is just the lens of like what white people are saying?
Not even just white people, because my mom is like, she went to private school, like she grew up different than like how she raised me. So it was like, do you have to wear that? Like, do you have to do that? Or like, you should dress like this when you go here.
Yeah.
Like, you
and
should
then
do that.
And then another thing you gotta add is being Muslim, growing up Muslim to that. You gotta put that on there.
This is the thing. Like, it's so funny. Like, I grew up Muslim. Everybody needs to know that. I grew up Muslim. So it be certain shit that I post. I'm like, I hope my father does not see this. Like, my father acts like Hoodrat Feminist doesn't exist. I was doing an interview with Red Bull Radio, and I told my father, like, yeah, I'm about to be on Red Bull Radio. He's like, okay, what's it for? I was like, oh, I sent him the flyer. I didn't even say it. Sent him the flyer. He was like, okay. He listened to it, like, he never talked about it, like, it doesn't exist to him. But this is what's getting me popping. So, like, my father has to deal with the fact that, like, he's still Muslim. Like, my father writes books about being Muslim.
Right.
And
are you like, how can I say the word, like, are you socialized in Islam, or is it still something that's something that you internalize, like you still practice?
Oh no, when my parents got divorced, my mother started taking me to church. Christian church.
Okay. So,
one time I was real religious for like 3 years of my life, like Christianity. Like, I was like, yes, the Bible, like Jesus, yes. And then like I was like, none of this shit like really
resonates. Yeah,
but like being Muslim, it's just, I'll put on my khimar if I'm going around that side of the family.
Okay.
But
I can't even imagine the other side of you.
No, when I go over there,
Jesus.
My grandfather be like, you look so beautiful. I'm like, thank you.
Now, D, you probably ain't found it. Did you find it yet?
Nah.
Okay. All right. Well, so what were some of like the first writers you had read that had given you an understanding of what Taz was doing? That allowed you to work, cause.
Well, let's just say this, right? Because just like this was her first book that got her into the understanding of like, oh shit, I have a voice. Like, this is probably because she can't read something without being like, Dante, you have to read it. Dante, you have to read it. Right now she got me reading Kevin Powell because she read it and she was just like, wow.
The Miseducation.
Yeah.
Or the Education.
The Miseducation.
No, it's not. It's
no, it's the Education.
It's like a boy's journey to manhood.
Yeah.
But just she had me read this immediately, and I remember talking to her and expressing like that really was the very first piece of like literature that made me understand the perspective that I could relate to it, because of the fact that for a man to be reading the perspective of a woman who is, throughout the book she goes through all of her journeys through becoming a professional woman, right? In many ways, a professional woman in hip hop, and a writer at that, and the struggles of the politics behind like what you can and can't get for free and what's expected based on the fact that you have a vagina and you're not ugly. She's not a bad looking woman at all.
You say that like she got like.
Just
what that mean?
I'm just saying,
like because she's
we
on her shit, she got to be like, nah, but nobody want her. Like,
nah, it's not that, but we live in a system that's run by men, and patriarchy rules, unfortunately. And so often when you're talking about the professional world, people expect like, okay, you're a professional woman and you have your stuff together, I have to have more than you. Yeah. And if not, then it's intimidating. So there's that side of it. Yeah. And then if I do have more than you, then it's kind of like, get your bands up, playboy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you owe me something. Like, you can't match what I have, so you owe me sex or a ego trip or whatever the case may be.
And Rick Ross be doing that shit on Sign, this little show we've been watching. Yeah. He's like, your future is bright, baby. Like the only girl with a fat ass.
The only girl who looks like she belongs in it used to be a strip. And you could tell where it comes from. But to hear Joan Morgan really go in depth about her experiences in the professional world and not getting the real and proper respect for her writing and for her stance and her views in hip hop, almost as like an A&R. To some extent, you know what I'm saying? In A&R, not from like for a label in particular, but if you're doing reviews and you're breaking down something like Biggie Smalls' Ready to Die, and you're turning this into somewhat of like a thesis project, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are the influencer in many ways because people are waiting to hear what you have to say, but
Right.
you're not getting the same respect. It's almost like before there were even bloggers, you're seen as like, oh, she's just a blogger type situation because of the fact that you're a woman. And I mean, it's just I was looking at so many things in the men that you were talking about. I had to ask myself so often, like, am I that nigga?
Yeah.
Like, am I that dude? Like, am I the dude who thinks, oh shit, I'm a good dude because I respect women and I got my stuff together and this and that, blah blah blah. But like, I still got the same tendencies as a fuck nigga. And I had to check myself so quick because of the fact that growing up, I only hung out with women. I didn't hang out with dudes like that.
So let me ask you something. I cut you off.
It's fine,
I didn't mean to
Go
cut you
ahead.
off. But how often were you getting to hear what women really felt of men? Because I grew up, and I think a lot of black men, and I think this is why there's that notion with black men of being hypermasculine. But there's also that thing that, like, I realized that I was doing that. You use that shit. It's like the way white people say, oh, I got a black friend, so I can't be racist. It's like my mom's and I got mad. I was raised by women, so how the fuck could I be sexist, bitch? Like that's literally how the sentence would come out. Like, let
me take you there, right? So I literally got to see the dirt behind every. Keep in mind, I hung out with nothing but women, but I played football for 13 years.
Oh, that's nice.
So we understand the balance already right there. I was kind of one of those guys, like, they want to know, like, who you fucking, what you doing, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I never really opened my mouth about anything because it wasn't their business. But at the same time, that kind of had me shunned. So the same niggas who's in the locker room lying on their dick talking this type stuff, you know, I hit this and that, blah, blah, blah. I hear the real story after school when I'm hanging out with my girls, and they like, what do you mean? He was trying to. He ate me out and he left. And it's like, oh, like, not to get all descriptive, but it's just like, you hear the real story, the real bullshit, and on a whole different tip, what women really felt about men and how it was affecting them. Like, I heard so often, and it was right there for me. But to some extent, where you would think that would be an advantage, it kind of crippled me even more, because for a lot of women, I was the only good dude that they knew of.
Right.
So that already can go to your ego a little bit and make you say, like, I can do no wrong. You see what I'm saying? And you can do more wrong in that, because what's even worse than, she just told me the other day, like, the devil you know is better than the devil that you don't, whatever the case may be, in the sense that, like, I mean, no, really, like,
unpack that.
So
hold on, wait, we gotta hold on, we gotta open these we gotta do this Marduce, because you dropping a lot of heavy shit. We gotta bring this in.
It's from my mom.
So like, I'm gonna put y'all onto this Marduce thing, and we gonna get back into the conversation. My bad, we got flies. This is the Lord of the Flies set. So teach y'all how to mix up this Marduce. So basically, what you're gonna do? This is yours.
All right.
It's got your name on it. You're gonna drink past the leaves. And I'm gonna pour y'all each up, and then we going.
Right.
So, right.
You know I don't drink, right?
You don't?
I don't.
All right, so you drink the apple juice.
I got nails.
I'd take a sip.
No,
that's not liquor. That's just
I
apple
know.
juice.
No, I'm saying I would take a sip with the lip. I got you, boo.
My nails be crippling me.
Nah, you just got one of them tops. Hold on.
Are you over there struggling with the top two?
There we go.
Alright.
There we go. Alright. Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it. Hold on.
Oh, I
this
too
is good
much.
though.
Are you good? I'll give you a little bit. Alright.
I'm gonna just taste it.
Yeah,
you gotta respect the dynamic of the show.
Alright, alright. And you just swirl it around.
Alright.
Just a little napkin over here. Yeah. Thank y'all for being on the show, but we about to get into this, so I feel like this conversation about to get hella heavy.
You're right.
Thank y'all for coming
Indeed.
through. Boom,
Indeed.
boom, 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 boom.
I feel like whenever I have these conversations, I gotta expose my father a little bit. So my father, if he decides that Hoodrat Feminist
What that
is a
tasting
thing,
like?
I mean, for me, it just tastes like apple juice,
Oh yeah, I ain't pour that much.
You didn't put that much in. That's
oh,
probably.
that's lit.
You put more in hers.
It's good.
I think
All right.
it tastes a little bit.
So
like that.
the devil you know.
It's better than the devil you don't. That's something that my mother taught me.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you got an ain't shit nigga, And there is potential. You know, there are a lot of ain't shit niggas out here.
Unpack that word. This is all about unpacking language.
Yeah, so you got like a dude, he broke, right? Because that's always like my mother's reference. I always go like broke. So he's broke.
Somebody alarm going off? I'm sorry.
That's I didn't even peep.
Yeah.
And like he cheating or whatever, doing foul shit.
Okay.
Let's just say foul shit. Like cheating or taking money from you, but he not contributing nothing. He not bringing nothing to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he's the father of your kid. You always know you're going to have a warm body next to you at night. And he may come home late, but he's still going to come home.
A lot of times he's funny. It's hard.
Yeah, nigga,
you can see all the
they
good
love
traits.
jokes. You know, people love jokes. He, you know, he's handsome. So you'll stick around with him because he's the devil you know, rather than like, yo, I'm going to leave you alone and then potentially meet another devil, but you don't know him. So you don't know how he gets down. You already got to know this one. It's like, he does this, this, and this. I could deal with that rather than meeting somebody else and he could fuck my life up.
And to make it, for the reference of context, right? When we were talking about it, it was just the idea of like, we were talking about casual sex or something.
Like that,
and essentially.
No, he was asking about being dickmatized. I was like, what? Like,
wait, that wasn't what we were talking about in that situation. What are you talking about? That's a whole different conversation.
That was after.
He got me sounding crazy.
No, that was after, yeah. That was later.
Yeah.
No,
but to the point.
To make it relevant, what we were talking about is this idea. Is because, I'm working on a short film. Okay. And we're doing a short film a month. And basically in the short film is this idea where there's like a good dude and he's rekindling something from his past, from when they were young, and it was a thing where she thought maybe, you know, oh, he grew up and he was, you know, no more mature now, but he still only just wanted to have sex with her. And it was such a disappointment because it was like, I thought you were a good dude. I thought like that, Lawrence. You know, you really had. Yeah, we're not gonna start with the Lawrence versus Issa thing right here, but I mean, you know, but basically, like this idea, thought that he was a good dude. She was saying the devil that you know is like, so even if there's a dude who don't respect you not one bit, every time he sees you, only thing he like, when you gonna let me hit though, you know that's all he wants.
But he gonna feed you, like he gonna take you to something to eat.
That type of situation, like as opposed to the dude who you were seeing as being so much more, and then it was still the same thing, and it's just like you still only wanted sex, and you was. I'm thinking we gonna get married and everything because you pumping it that way. Right. That hurts worse. That hurts worse than the dude who don't. But
that's what you said about the Lawrence thing. Because anybody who watches Insecure is like, he was a dude who had just gotten out of a relationship, who, you know. And what's interesting about that show, I think that to even watch the way like that clan of like, oh, Team Lawrence, people automatically start taking sides. But I think what gets undermined is like how much of what they're doing is the expectations that other people have of them, like, oh, like you should fuck that nigga, fuck that bitch, quote unquote. So it's like, how many of these voices infiltrate the language that we have about the relationships that we in, and a lot of times the relationships that we in, we don't even necessarily be understanding them. Definitely. But yet we be sharing like unpackaged, half-baked language with other people, and then they start getting their ingredients into it. So, you know, like the episode last night that came on was
that's when we get home. That's when we get home.
So I'm not gonna spoil it for y'all. But what you'll see in the episode overall is a lot of regret, being packaged, a lot of insecurity being packaged as knowing what you're doing. And there's a lot of times when I think that, and I say it's personally, like a lot of times I've hurt people in relationships as a way to not show that I was hurt. Like hurt people all the time and shit like that. So for me, it was a thing of watching those episodes and watching that show is like how much of this presentation of security is, how much of the foundation, how much of security, the presentation of security is backed by a foundation of a lot of insecurities. Like a lot of things you don't want people to see, so you project this image. But bringing this back to the page that y'all run together.
Because we do all this on the page.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And that's what I really want to highlight is not that this is a conversation. Yeah, and that's why I want to keep it on into the context of the page, is because what seems to unravel in every episode, I'm talking about like episodic, but every post is like this ongoing conversation. Now, the page had started when?
October. So last October.
All right, last October. When what was the first post that had sort of pushed it? It's at what, like 4,500 followers, something like
It's like
that.
4,700 now.
Yeah. But what was the first thing that you saw that got like this reaction what was the first post that sort of shifted?
I posted a video. I had on a black bra and it was like cut real low, and I had on a pink do-rag just like dripping. It was just hanging, and I started talking about when I was 13. Cause I did everything real early, just like a lot of girls, and I had a lot of free time. So I like had sex real early. Like I had this boyfriend, and we was like, he lived in the projects. His mother was never home, so I was like always over there.
Yeah.
So I started talking about how like when I was 13, you know, my first love like broke my heart or whatever. He couldn't get his nose in my pussy now because I think I'm the shit. But like back then, everything he said to me was like law. Like he was like, straighten your hair. I was like, alright, my shit was getting straightened. Like. If he was like, oh, dress like this, I'd be like, okay, like, I'm gonna dress like that. But, you know, it was like to cripple me, to keep me down, because he knew that, like, I was like, I was pretty. Like, it was a lot of things that he was able to do to, like, dim my light a bit.
It created insecurities.
Yeah, so I started like, damn, like, the first thing he ever said to me was,
it created
like,
insecurity, or do you think the insecurity was based?
I already had them. So, like, you know, the first thing he ever said was like, damn, your feet big as hell. I always had fly shoes. So I never thought my feet were big. I was popping. So I was like, damn, like my feet big as hell. So that became an insecurity of mine. I used to cry about it. My forehead, like, he was like, oh, I'm glad you got a bang because your forehead big. I was like, damn, like, I got a big forehead. Like, I got to keep my bang curled. Like, it was just so much. And I did a video about that. Everybody was like, oh, my God, I feel that. I'm dealing with that right now. Like, my baby father makes me feel stupid. It was like a lot of.
And so what was were you a part of
at that point, that was when I think we both started really.
Just so people know, you shoot a lot of
the pictures.
Well, the I take the pictures, and say for example, like right now working on a documentary, like I'm on the film side / photography side. I'm a filmmaker, but you know, I do most of her pictures, but the actual do-rag diaries themselves that she does, usually it's a selfie cam type situation, everything like that.
But a lot of people don't know I write them.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're like legit like monologues.
Yeah,
that's dope because they don't come off like.
Now some of them are more recent.
Some of them they be freestyling.
The first ones were monologues though.
No, but I still be writing them.
Oh, hello. She just hey.
Like I be on the train.
Teaching me something brand new.
I be on the train. And I be like, this. I want to talk about this, but I have to figure out a way to phrase it, especially if I'm talking about something so personal. Like when I was talking about like, you know, like a video when I was 14. I let my boyfriend record me like having sex, and he showed everybody. And so I didn't realize that like everybody who saw the video like tried to smash me later, but I didn't know they saw it. So I was giving these niggas play, like thinking like, oh, they just think I'm cute, like they just want to fuck with me. So like a couple of them, they had seen it, so they knew what it was like. They knew how it was going down behind closed doors. But I didn't find this out until like me and him broke up. He was like long gone, and somebody was like, I'm glad you're done with him because he showed everybody that video. So I'm sitting there like, word, like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. Like, fuck that nigga. I went home and, oh my God. Like, I'm 14, like, I'm a fucking porn star. Like, this
because she remembered what the video was. And
I was wailing. Like, y'all would have seen this video, like, y'all would have been like, damn, girl, like, the fuck?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so everybody saw the video. And then I couldn't tell my mother because I didn't want her to know I was having sex. So
that
I was just like depressed. I had to deal with that.
Yeah.
And that was like shame. Like shame is such a big thing for girls. Like I was ashamed. Like I couldn't even show my face at a lot of events. Like I wouldn't go to football games or like fireworks and stuff because I'm like, these niggas got one up on me.
Yeah.
Like they all know something about me.
And then so then like, you know, and it's a hard thing to sort of do, which is like reclaim that which is taken from you, because there's so much language that's on the backs of black women especially, that like makes your body not yours. So like it's okay to show, like if you like in a you know, not like in a rapper Ross anybody's video showing your ass, but if you're just doing it for yourself, it's like, oh, why she showing herself? And that's
like the Black China situation. That shit hurt me so bad when everybody was like, well, why is she upset? Like she shows it herself. It's like, but that's her choice. And then somebody exposing her, they're like, well, it's nothing we ain't seen before, but she, you know, because she was once a stripper, it's like, well, oh well, like she shouldn't even be mad. She gave it up, so it's no longer hers.
Yeah. So how did y'all come mix and match into like collaborating on a lot of the pictures?
He came to me because at first I was just chill, like you know me, like
Yeah.
I'm real low key. So I was just like, I don't know about that. Like I started doing the videos, and then he was like, oh, we should do shoots, and I was like, I'm not no fucking model, like no.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, I'm telling you, like do the shoots, and I was like, okay. So I started doing shoots.
What was the first shoot y'all did together?
A shoot for my birthday. I got like these pants made with my name on them.
The airbrush.
Yeah, and then I had these.
Taking it back to You Got
But
Served Glory.
The first real
That's what
shoot
she's saying.
where she showed her ass, where she really was on some like, oh, this is a model. It's called the
You got
Durag
the
Diaries.
tat. You got the Hoodrat Feminist.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
I got that.
And
Was,
that's legit like a tattoo on your leg.
Yeah. But the first real shoot that we did was in her room. We decided, we said, man, let's take all of the most poppin' figures in hip hop and the culture of Hoodrat Feminist and everything. So she has Nicki, she has like China, she has like all the
Gucci.
video vixens, Gucci, all
I got
on her
Buffy the
wall
Body.
in the corner where she was usually doing her Durag Diaries. We put her Black Barbies in the background, and we put a whole collage across the whole back of her wall.
Yeah.
And that was her new this is her new home background for everything. And we did a photo shoot right there with like all the different colored lights and
and
stuff.
I was wearing some shit.
She was in
like,
a do-rag and like kind of bra and panties. And I mean, that was the first one that we really did that she was just like, oh, I could model. And from there, it was like she caught the bug. She was like, we need to shoot. Let's shoot again.
Yeah.
I got an idea. So it started going from like, she just had all these ideas, like fashionable, kind of like, but too relevant to the hood rat aesthetic, you know? So Jordan jersey as a dress, but with like a red do-rag, and then her...
And I would get like these...
The nails is done now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it looked real like... Whoa, what is that? It's almost like hood girl weirdo.
But the
kinda.
hood niggas was fucking with it too. Like I was out in the street in my neighborhood just shooting, and the niggas was coming up to me like, "Oh, you got a mixtape? Like you rap?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't rap." So niggas like, "Could we take a picture with you?" I'm like, "Okay." So they all touching me. I'm like, "You gotta wash your hands, bro." Like you touching me all crazy.
And sure, I just think it's like she didn't always like she said when she did it, it was just to say like, hey, here's the books I'm reading, and then she shared her first
and they
video.
wasn't really fucking with it. Like
about.
when I was just on books, I was reading a book called Killing the Black Body. I was stressed out on the train, like, oh my god, like crack babies. Like I was just experiencing some trauma. So I'm reading the book. I did a video like, y'all gotta read this. Like this is hitting me in the heart. And everybody was like, yeah.
But it was like, you know, from seeing, I've always known her mind, and I'm just like, yo, let's really make this into, because I'm really about marketing and structure, and like,
and that's not my thing.
You know what I'm saying? I love branding, and you know what I'm saying, like, in a sense, everything you're doing, the Douce and apple juice, like it's a brand. It's just things that bring like aesthetics to things, and I was like, yo, you have the power. Everybody who knows you knows you're popping, but you never actually speak to anybody. She was so quiet all the time. So it's like, yo, when you actually open up and speak and let people know who you really are, and she did, and next thing you know, it's like everybody's like, she's a hood celebrity. We'd be at the station, people just pulling up on her like, oh my god, that's her, that's Hoodrat Feminist. And it's just like, it's funny to me because I'm like, you know, she's so like, but you know, I'm like, yo, just say what's up, like,
she's not, I'm like, no, nigga.
She's just being herself, and I was like, as soon as you just be yourself, like, who doesn't want to be popping just for being themselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to compromise yourself in any way. You don't have to, and you know, people might look and say, well, you know, for any dudes who might be watching and be like, I mean, but you know, that's your girl and she's out here.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, that's the next conversation.
But is that compromising? If she was, that was her when I met her. Shit, goddamn.
But that's not always the truth of how dudes.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
A lot of times
you now,
we
now
move. So now you about to like, I'm about to turning your shit. Like you ain't got no life no more. Like, so how do you navigate? Like, and this is not putting you on. Like, but how do you? I'm not. But how do you reconcile that? Like, not unless with the relationship you have in house, but like when you go out into the world and people like you know, like, son, you gonna let your lady do that, blah blah blah, as if you have the control of that anyway. But yeah,
the natural response is let. Like, I can't let. Okay. How can I? This ain't a dog. This not a chihuahua. Like, I can't let her do anything. First of all, but like, I've never believed in the idea of ownership. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Like, my uncle told me a long time ago. He said, catch a bird, let it go. If it doesn't come back to you, it was never yours to begin with.
Right. I'm a bird.
Nah, you're
Not
not
a
a
dog.
bird. You're not a
I'm just a
bird.
bird.
You're a bird.
But nah, real live, like it to me, it's just one of them things. Like, yo, people are gonna do what they do. It's like either you love the person or you don't. Either you trust them or you don't. Either you respect them or you don't. She 100%. There's no way. No matter what anybody sees her post, right? They might see her nipples. It's just a nipple. We have nipples. You know what I'm saying? They might see a little bit of her vagina.
Pissed.
Well, you pee from there.
They be pissed.
You know what I'm saying?
They be
But
so
they be so upset about the fact, like, what are you doing exposing your body to the world?
Mm-hmm.
But nigga, like, do what you gonna do? But the whole, why are you so offended? And ultimately, when people look at me like, nah, I couldn't be my girl. Why not?
you don't have a girl.
What she
Well,
gonna?
it's not your
She
girl.
gonna leave you?
Yeah.
She gonna leave? Like, what? She gonna find something? You must be insecure. I feel like because and this is the real thing about it, right? More than likely, and she doesn't believe me, but I say I will probably be successful. She'll probably be successful and famous. Right? That's the more of the likely.
Successful being like monetary, material.
Well, I mean,
like, how we-
whatever you define success is for yourself,
Okay.
right? In your own goals and aspirations. We'll probably both be successful because we're going to reach our goals and aspirations, but she'll probably be famous with
Okay.
her success. And at that point, there's a realm of whole new niggas that you can reach out to, right? So, like, Trey Songz could see her and be like, yeah, she a real one. I never met nobody like that. Trey Songz can send her 7,000 roses to her job and be like, I literally just want to have a conversation. And she could easily say, damn, he did all that just to have a conversation?
Yeah.
This nigga Dante barely get me a McDouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever, you know, not this, but I'm just saying, like, the whole point is, like, to me, it just makes me think along the lines, like, I know who I'm dealing with. I got to stay on my shit and just always be on top, always keep you reminded of the reason why we got together. I'm not worried about her leaving me, and even if she did, it's like, yo, I was good before you, I'm gonna be good after. I think that's one thing that we're both secure with.
Yeah,
is
like,
the idea.
y'all
We don't
came
necessarily
in
need
with
each
y'all
other,
came in already
but we
platinum.
love having each other.
Yeah.
And like for her in particular, like I'm not threatened by anything that she does individually outside of me, like showing herself. This the thing, before she posts what she posts, she sends it to me. You know what I'm saying? She'll be sitting like, I'm about to post this. It's an Insta snap. She's laying in the bed. She's butt naked. She has a flower over her titty.
That wasn't an Insta snap. That was an actual post.
Or actual post, you know, and I'm
My
sitting there
mother was
like,
pissed.
I'm looking like,
She was pissed.
and look, this is the worst part about it, right? Where most people would be like, nah, yeah, don't put, or we'll try to, why don't you post it as an Insta snap? It'll delete tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking like, well, send it to me. Let me edit it first to make sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some people would think that's crazy, but I'm like,
my
to me,
mom.
yeah, her mother wasn't a fan of that picture at all.
There's a
She's
lot
like,
of
you
shit.
might as well do porn.
Yeah,
Like,
that's my mother's thing. She was like, do porn.
her mother funny, yo. But I just,
That's the best thing.
for me, I just, you know, I'm not threatened by it. It's not something to have to really cope with or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know one who she talks to every day. I know who she becomes vulnerable with me. She speaks to me every day. We share dreams. We share everything. Like, come on, man. People be insecure. That's why dudes be so like not okay.
How you laughing for?
Cause they just be insecure. Dudes be insecure. They want to control you so bad.
Because I've had insecure niggas before, and I just be like, you just gonna be mad, nigga.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not
what
throwing
you
no
gonna
shade to them, you know.
Nah, yeah.
And the crazier part is, if they knew what type, she is the type of woman who, if she was dealing with an insecure nigga just to make them comfortable, she would be like, I'm not gonna wear it, this and that. But I'm like, yo, be free, do what you want to do. I'm not gonna hold you back. You're never gonna be happy that way.
Word. So you have any Tasia tales you want to read before we get out of here? Was you ready? I definitely sent y'all the one sheet. Like,
I got it.
Yeah.
I don't print them out. They all.
All right. Well, like, just give us a background of what it is.
I'm gonna read the last one.
All right, read the last
I
one.
was gonna say, I had it on save.
Explain to people what it is first. Like,
I gotta explain how I started reading at first.
Yeah.
So my mom is a single mother, so she used to take me and my sister to Barnes and Noble, and in order to get away from us, she would be like, all right, y'all go over to like the teen section, and y'all have to read the first 5 pages of whatever y'all want to get, and just sit down and read it, and then see if you want to get it, and then y'all each get one, and you can swap. So me and my sister was like, all right, we gonna get this and this. So it was books by like Sister Soldier, Nene Simone. She used to write these like hood ass books. They was called If I Was Your Girl, like Shorty Like Mine. Me and my sister was going crazy, like, yo, Seven and Josiah, like those are the characters, like Seven, Josiah, and Toy. Like we were so immersed in their lives, so we would just stay up all night reading these books. So when I got older, I was like, I want to write one. So that's what I'm doing.
All right. Dope.
It's called The Tasia Tale. And I just like tea, so it's like the Tasia Tell at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays. That's what I
Okay.
do.
And that's when you release them on the gram?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Before you read it though, give the background of like, because you're gonna come in mid story, but just give like a overall synopsis. You know what I'm saying? Like
Tasia's a scammer.
Okay.
She bad. Like I be saying she got LaShante complexion, Laura London dimples with
Who's LaShante?
She's bad. She's a baddie. If you LaShante, like look her up. She's beautiful. She's a video girl.
Oh, okay.
LaShante complexion. She's like Blasian.
Okay.
But she's like my complexion.
Okay.
I was like Lauren London dimples and Megan Good lips, and then she just got a body. Like she's bad. So she be like sleeping with niggas and like taking all their jewelry and their money. And she got a best friend, and it's a whole life. Alright, we're gonna talk to Tasia real quick. It was time for a shopping spree. Tasia had a closet full of clothes, but she couldn't wear any of her old shit to Melissa's party. She had too many hoes to stun on. After her Uber ride home from Black Spot, she took a shower and got dressed, just to take another Uber to go shopping on 5th Avenue in Manhattan. She decided her best outfit option for the party would be a tight bodycon dress, but she had to kill it with her accessories. Of course she would have to buy shoes in a new bag, maybe Gucci or Chanel. The Uber driver pulled up in front of her house and she hopped in. The driver was surprised to see a girl like Tasia come out of a house on South 17th Street in Newark. She spent most of the ride thinking about her night with Black. She knew that she had to shake him off, so she thought she scrolled through Instagram to distract herself. For someone with such a huge Instagram following, Tasia hated the app. She knew it was a place for frauds. People use Instagram to paint false pictures of themselves. Everyone was getting money and popping on the internet, but people like Tasia were getting money in real life. She scrolled through her timeline and saw bottle girls posting promos for their clubs, hood niggas flexing with money and fake jewelry, bitches selling bundles, and fake people complaining about other fake people being fake. These bitches really be blowing my shit. After I make my first $1,000,000, I'ma go ghost on everybody. She scrolled and liked for a while, but she was tired of seeing the same stuff. She didn't realize how long she was scrolling until the driver pulled up in front of Saks Fifth Avenue. Thank you. No problem, you have a good day. The driver couldn't help but watch her walk inside. The old man wasn't used to having that kind of beauty in his backseat. I'ma skip forward. Cause she just went shopping. She bought shit. Alright. So she going to a little party. Alright. Okay, yeah. Tasia walked in and all eyes were immediately on her. Future's Rich Sex was playing in the background. Tasia knew she was shining, from her highlight to her studded shoes. Lil Josh was on his way to being tipsy, but he sobered up when Tasia caught his eye. He wrapped his arm around Melissa's shoulder and whispered in her ear, "Hey yo, who that?" "That's my girl Tasia. Want me to call her over here?" "Is that even a question?" Melissa was trying to get her attention over the loud music, but Tasia pretended not to see her waving. She walked to the bar and ordered a Kettle One martini. She preferred Henny, but she couldn't sip on what everyone else was sipping on. "Go down there and get Shorty for me." Lil Josh instructed one of his boys to get Tasia from the bar. He walked to the bar and whispered into her ear, "Josh sent me down here to get you." He startled Tasia and almost made her spill her drink. "You scared the shit out of me." He couldn't come down here himself. "Come on, we'll get you as many drinks as you want." Tasia followed the homie to Melissa's section, where Josh was vibing with his shades on. "Happy birthday, you look so pretty." She had the fake routine down. "Thank you, Josh, this is Tasia. Nice to meet you, beautiful. Nice to meet you, too." Tasia tucked her hair behind her ear, pretending to be shy. "What you sipping?" He motioned for Tasia to come stand between him and Melissa. Melissa moved over, but she didn't seem too happy about it. A Kettle One martini. Lil Josh ordered another drink for Tasia. They brought Tasia's drink out and gave a bottle to Josh's homie. Josh sparked a blunt and passed it to his right. The club usually had a no smoking policy, but that didn't apply to someone as hot as him. Melissa was making a Snapchat video and Tasia sat down on the couch pretending like she didn't want to be seen. The light from the video gave Tasia an opportunity to get a good look at Josh. He was wearing a Gucci button-down, a pair of Tom Ford jeans with Saint Laurent sneakers. He had diamonds sprinkled all over from his earlobes to his wrists. He was definitely her type. She denied the blunt when it was passed her way because smoking in public was unattractive to her. "What you doing after this?" She had only been there for less than an hour and he was already making plans to get her out of there. "I'll probably go home. I gotta work in the morning." "I'll give you a full day's pay. You could just call out." "I don't even know you." "I want to know you, though." Tasia's performance could win her an Oscar. She knew exactly how to catch a nigga slipping. Melissa's birthday bottles and sparklers were brought out, and there were people everywhere. Tasia thought she saw Shantae in the crowd, but she was a little tipsy, so she assumed she was tripping. She was drinking from Josh's bottle, actually having a good time. The music was lit, everyone was dancing and lip-syncing into their iPhones. She checked her phone and she had a few texts from Black, a text from Quad and a call from her mother. Let's skip over. Fuck out of here, bitch. Wait, let me go back. I gotta introduce this. She walked outside and scrolled on her phone. She posted a selfie she took earlier to Instagram and checked to see how far the car was. The driver was 5 minutes away. She could only last 5 more minutes in her shoes. She locked her phone and heard the click. Immediately, she felt someone running up on her from behind. She turned around. It was Shantae. What's up now? Shantae hooked Tasia. Fuck out of here, bitch. Tasia tried to throw her guard up when she felt someone pulling her hair from behind. It was the wrong night for her to be alone wearing her pretty high heels. She was getting jumped by 4 girls. She fell and was being stomped out by bitches wearing Timberland boots. Shantae was wearing brass knuckles on her right hand. She was repeatedly punching Tasia in her face and she could taste the blood filling up in her mouth. 2 girls were kicking her. One was kicking her in the stomach while the other was kicking her in the back. She was screaming, hoping for her driver to pull up and help her or for someone to come out of the club. It felt like everyone was in on the attack. One girl wasn't hitting her because it was her job to take all of Tasia's valuables. She took her shoes off, snatched her chain from around her neck, took her bracelets off her wrist, and pulled her bag off her arm. Tasia stopped trying to fight back and curled up into the fetal position. She was praying Shantae wasn't doing any damage to her face that would be permanent. She could feel her ribs cracking. You knew this was coming, you fucking grimy hoe ass bitch.
Oh my
Tasia
goodness.
spit blood out on Shantae's feet and she was trying to kick, but she was in too much pain. Yo, let's get the fuck out of here. Come on, she gonna learn today. Shantae got one last punch in and Tasia felt her forehead split open. That would leave a scar. She heard the girls run off, but she couldn't see anything because her eyes were swollen shut. Lights out.
Jesus. Lord, this is some Sister Soldier Coldest Winter shit.
Yeah, that's the type of tip I'm actually on.
Yeah. Woo. So
That was the turn up.
yeah, that was a lot. So where can people follow y'all? The gram to give us the handles.
At Hoodrat Feminist.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it?
I would plug the Do-Rag Diaries. All the special hashtags.
No, hashtag Do-Rag Diaries.
Hashtag Do-Rag
Hashtag
Diaries.
the Tasia Tale.
Okay.
That's where my little heart is right now.
Okay.
That's where you're gonna find all the dope contact. The Do-Rag Diaries. The Tasia
Hashtag
Tales.
Hoodrat Feminist. Hashtag Hoodrat Feminism.
All right.
Yeah.
And what projects y'all working on? Hoodrat Feminist, not just that, but other things. Any other projects y'all working on?
We just launched a non-profit because, we trying to be the Diddy's of the art world.
So anybody like nonprofit doing what exactly?
Okay, so we it's gonna be a performance space.
Okay.
Specifically for artists in the hood to come and to be able to perform and not have to spend a lot of money.
Right.
And for the public to be able to come and see what their peers are doing. So we're gonna have stages and
this is gonna be in Jersey.
It's gonna be in East Orange, New Jersey, or Newark, New Jersey. We're still launching right now, but we're able to get a space because we're gonna be a nonprofit.
Okay.
It's easier to get real estate.
So how people follow this, or every same thing. Hoodrat Feminist is
Yeah,
where you're gonna
it's
get
all
the
gonna
It's
be
all
posted
gonna
on
come
there.
through Hoodrat
Okay.
Feminist. And
Okay.
also we're working on a documentary right now.
Yeah.
We're still working on the title, or we have
Yeah.
it for sure now.
What I call it?
Mama-
Oh, it's my mommy never told me.
Yeah, my mom never told me. And basically we're just exploring the idea of how black women in particular are introduced to love and sex and the ways in which that
Informs
affects
like
them.
their entire lives.
Yeah, everything going forward through their social interactions, relationships and everything. And it's going to be really interesting. We got some really interesting stories that we're going to explore. And that's something that we're working on together, as well as with her mother, Lisa Nathari. She's producing on it as well.
Dope.
And yes, it's gonna be dope.
So that's lit. So this has been another episode of Lit. With Hoodrat Feminist, Dante and Taz. Like you said, you can follow. Like they said, you could follow them where they said you could follow them at. You could follow us at Lit Platform on all the channels. You can follow me at Yadon. Check out for the next episode. Shout outs to Pink Pig Productions and my boy Surreal Jules on the post production musical tip. This is Lit. We out. Wow. Get out of here. For being lit, got y'all lit these lit pens.
Oh.
They named so y'all know they yours.
You can open it now?
Yeah. Those are yours. Those are y'all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard, bro.
Yeah. You know,
This is hard.
Yeah.
Presentation.
Oh yeah, your presentation is everything.
I see.
The thing I almost forgot before we left. We actually left. We got to come back and cut this back in. Your literary swags.
Oh yeah,
So
I already
your favorite
came
3 writers.
it.
Yeah. So your favorite 3 writers. Excuse my mic. Favorite 3 writers.
My favorite 3 writers: Sister Soldier. I'm a theater major, so playwright Lynn Nottage and Richard Wright.
Okay, then the swag.
I'm a thrift store mommy, so Unique is my favorite thrift store. I get everything. It's how I stay lit. Dr. Martens, because that's like all I wear.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, I wear Dr. Martens all the time.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna say Jeremy Scott, because he's just popping.
All right. Let's go with Tom Burrell, just because he's the GOAT. I'm gonna say Nathan McCall.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go with, just for what I just said, Paulo Coelho.
Okay.
And then
Swag.
as far as the swag, it's hard, man. Tarjay, man. I'm a Tarjay poppy.
That's one person.
You know what I'm saying? Target, it'll get you right on one move, but then at the same time, like, I do like a lot of online stuff like ASOS, everything like that. And then of course, regular stuff. You can never go wrong with like Urban Outfitters and stuff like that. In New York.
So this is the real ending to the episode. We want to thank y'all for watching. Shout out to Pink Pig Productions, Surreal Jewels, the Hoodrat Feminist is in the building. You can follow them at Hoodrat Feminist. Follow us at Lit Platform. Follow me at Yadon. We out. It's lit.